Hi, and welcome to the Snowman and Christmas Tree mini kit tutorial. We're going to start off with the snowman, and we've opened the blue, and we're just going to put the sky over the snowman painting. So just in the background there. I've speeded this up just a little bit because I've taken my time painting the blue gouache. This is a lovely blue gouache, so it's really nice. If you want a deeper colour, just add another layer after this one has dried. And you'll notice I've got some black plastic on the table. It's really useful to get something to protect your surfaces. Although gouache is water soluble, it's just easier to clean up if you put some newspaper or just something down on the table underneath so you don't get paint everywhere. I am the messiest artist anywhere, so I always have sheets of black plastic or things that I've acquired from old packaging of parcels, etc., and I use those to help protect my tables. And I've also got, slightly out of shot there, a little mug with some water in to clean my brush, and also some paper towel to dry my brush once I've washed it. And that's because with a wet brush, putting a wet brush into gouache really loosens the paint up, and we want to get as much pigment on there as possible. Okay, now I've finished the sky on the snowman, I'm going to do the same with the Christmas tree. So again, with the blue, I'm going to paint the sky on the Christmas tree. It's quite useful doing the sky on both hangings one after another because you don't have to wash your brush in between, and also it gives a chance for the other hanging to dry while you're putting the sky on the Christmas tree. And what we're doing here, we don't have a full outline per se on the Christmas tree because we're going to put the green overlapping the sky. So we're just kind of following the guidelines that we've got drawn on our hanging, just to give an indication of where we want to put the tree. And we're just filling in the blue around that a bit. Once the sky has been painted on both the hangings, wash your brush. There's my little cup of water. I've had that cup since I was about 3. I love it. It's really useful for painting. And then I'm going to dry it off with some kitchen towel, ready to get the white. So again, we're swapping back to the snowman and giving the Christmas tree background a chance to dry. And we're going to get the white out, and we're going to paint the snow background onto the snowman. So this is the ground that we're doing. And the white is actually quite translucent, so you have to put a fair bit on to cover the wooden background. And I've just gone into the blue a little bit there, and it was still a bit wet, so I've just cleaned my brush off and put some more white over the top. But you can really have some fun with this and play with the colours, and yeah, just enjoy it. It's great fun. And with the white being, like I said earlier, just that little bit thinner, you can wait till it dries and then put another layer over the top. Which I'm just putting a little bit of extra white on there. And again, cleaning my brush again. because what we're going to do next is put the snow on underneath the Christmas tree. So in exactly the same way as we did with the snowman, we're just putting that white ground just up against the sky and underneath our Christmas tree. And again, I've got the sky a little bit blended into the white, and that's the reason why we try and leave the layers to dry each time, which I haven't done obviously well enough in this case, because then you don't get that muddying of layers. So now we're going back to the snowman and we're going to paint the actual snowman. So we're just going to paint his head and his body, again using the white. And I'm kind of using the white in a circular motion, just so that it's the texture that you get from laying the paint down. It makes it look as if it's rolled into a ball. I'm just being mindful not to go onto the scarf there as well. It doesn't matter too much if you do. It's just easier if you can avoid it where possible. And clean my brush off again, ready to swap back to the Christmas tree and get the green out. This is a wonderful green, really vibrant. Now, how we're going to paint the Christmas tree is we're going to do each side at a time, and you're going to kind of start at the top and do a slightly curved stroke downwards, and we're just basically going to repeat that motion, making the curves slightly longer as we go down, and that will give the impression of boughs of the tree. So you do one side first, and then we will turn the disc slightly and do the second side. I find that turning the disc slightly just makes it easier to make those brush strokes. And I like anything that makes my life easier. Let's face it, who doesn't? And we're just going to bring that tree right the way down and over the snow at the bottom. So it's a really full, fluffy Christmas tree. I love Christmas trees. I would have a forest of Christmas trees at Christmas time if I had my way. So now we've put the green on, we're going to leave that to dry, and we're going to do some more work on the snowman. So we've opened our black, and what we're going to do is paint the top hat. So I'm just doing a line across the top and then moving down the hat. And then again, I always turn the hanging over so that I can use my best side rather than having to twist my hand around to try and get the other side. It's much easier to turn the object around. And I'm just doing a little line at the bottom of the hat for the hat's rim, and then some little arms. So just lines coming out of the snowman's body out over the blue to indicate arms for my little snowman. So now I'm going to wash all that black off my brush. And I'm going to take the yellow and I'm going to put a little nose on my snowman. So I'm literally dabbing my brush and then dabbing the long edge of the brush onto my snowman to make a carrot shape. It's quite a light yellow, so I think what I'm going to do is get some red and put a little, exactly the same as I've done with the yellow, only just put a dab of red over the top, and that will mix in with the yellow to give kind of like a carroty orange colour, which is perfect. And then with the other end of the paintbrush, so the non-brush end, I've just dipped that into the black paint, and then I'm going to dab that for eyes on the snowman. And doing that on the end of your paintbrush is really cool because it gives a circular blob of paint, which is perfect for eyes and also for the buttons going down the snowman's coat. And you can also, if you want to, put some black spots on to make his mouth. It's much easier to use the end and dot than it is to try and make a circular mark with the brush itself. But always make sure you clean the end of the brush afterwards, otherwise you get black paint everywhere. I know this because I've done it myself all the time. So now we're back with the Christmas tree and we've got the yellow paint, and I'm just kind of making a star-like pattern at the top of the Christmas tree. And at this point you can kind of do what you want with your Christmas tree and have a think about how you would like to decorate it. So I think the green is still a little bit too wet, so I'm going to come back to my snowman and do a little bit on his scarf. So with the bright red, I'm just going to colour in the alternate stripes on the snowman's scarf. Again, turning the hanging when you need to make it easier for you. I'm left-handed, so I tend to turn it round when I'm doing this particular side. But if you're right-handed, you might find it easier turning at other times. So it's entirely what makes it easier for you is what I'm trying to say. But don't twist your arm round trying to get to the right position, just move the object. And then once you've got your red stripes, we're going to get some of that green and put some green stripes on there. So we've got a red and green scarf. Now again, you can play with the colours here. So you might want a red and yellow scarf or a green and yellow scarf. Just have a play and see what you think works well for you. I like the green and red because I think it stands out really well. But I think the yellow would too, to be honest. Great, now I've got my snowman looking like a real snowman. I'm just going to put a little bit of extra dot on that eye. I'm going to put some snow for my snowman. And what I'm doing here, exactly the same way as I did the eyes, I'm taking the brush, making sure it's got a clean end to it, dip that in the white, and I'm dotting those white dots all over the background of the snowman to make him appear in a snowstorm. You don't have to put snow on if you want to, but I think it looks really fun. And now back to the Christmas tree, and I'm just going to put some decorations on, I think. I'm going to put some red blobs on, just to make it look like someone's come and decorated this lovely tree in the middle of the forest. And I'm going to put some yellow on too, to make it look a bit like candles maybe on the end of the boughs. And again, you can play with this and do what you want with it. You could put tinsel type effects or anything really. This is your Christmas tree. And again, I've decided I'm going to do a snowstorm on my Christmas tree scene because I love the snowstorms. To be fair, I just love doing the dotting of the white. So yeah, I think all my paintings that I've done recently for these have got little snowstorms in the back. I think it's great fun. Now these hangings are blank on the back, so you can paint your own scene or do your own thing on the back of them, which is cool because you'll have loads of paint left over. And now once you've got your Christmas tree with its snowstorm on, all you need to do is leave to dry, attach twine, and there you have your Christmas decorations. Happy Christmas!